Okay, league number 2. Playing some Grixis Shadow this league. Live over here at twitch.tv/the_control freak. So this is 72, I think, or 71 of Kanister's challenge winning list the other day. The only things that we swapped around are he's took out the one Inquisition for apparently another Polluted Delta. We're playing a Fiery Islet instead. He's got the 4th Ledger Shredder over the 4th Death Shadow. I've got that swapped to 3 Shredder, 4 Shadow. And then in the sideboard, he's got the 2nd K Command over the Soul Guide Lantern. I want the Soul Guide Lantern because I've been seeing so much Living End recently. But those are about the only changes. Some of the notable inclusions and exclusions from this list: no copies of Inquisition of Kozilek. Since Inquisition misses things like Murktide and Omnath and all that big fun stuff, we'll just cut it out of the list entirely. Get out of here. If you're not hitting what we want to hit, why do we need you? 2 copies of Terminate in the main deck. Mostly, I'm guessing, for the same reasons, like especially Murktide. Just give you a good 2-mana answer to those. The 3 copies of Ledger Shredder. 4 has always felt like a lot. Like, I don't really want to play Ledger Shredder on turn 2 with nothing following it up. And if you play it later, then you probably have like an extra copy in hand you can just ditch away. And it's not providing like the same clock that Shadow or Croxa or something is. So I'm pretty okay cutting back that number a little bit. The only other changes I wouldn't mind seeing are like a 2nd copy of Alpine Moon. I think that card really overperforms for me. But either way, we're just going to jump in and see what happens. Because we can sit here and theory craft all day about what may be better or worse or whatever, but if we don't actually play the game, we'll never know. Like, I'd imagine there's games where you have turn 1 Hand Disruption, turn 2 Ledger Shredder on the play. And that's really good to play out a Ledger Shredder on turn 2. Yep. But if that's not the case, it seems like it's really, really underwhelming. I want to get rid of Heat. Just have like Terminate, Drown as my removal spells if I need them. Yeah, let's do that. What you got? Neobrand. No. Alright. Am I just taking their 1 land? The Turn Timber and saying like good luck? I think I like that. They run like such a low land count that might just like erase them from the game. Woo. And we'll pass. The hope here is that they just whiff on a land again. I get to like Expressive Iteration before my opponent's done anything. Dang it. You want to play out the Allosaurus Rider? Yeah, yeah. Also, how many Thrastas do they play? Is that something I need to keep an eye on? Okay. Springleaf Drums. That gives them Neoform mana. That's fine, because at the moment I can just, like, Drown in the Loch, the Neo form. Nope. Can't make myself do it. Like, I could Thoughtseize and then, like, have Bolt for the Rider. Got an Allosaurus Rider. They exiled what? Allosaurus, Thrasta. Did they find an Eldritch Evolution? No. So let's get a Steam Vents. Black, blue. Forgot about that card existing. Whoops. All right. So if they draw 7 more and then go to put a Nourishing Shoal on the stack, we can go for a Lightning Bolt. If they just pass, we go for a Terminate. I don't know why I thought this was like the creature gets +X/+X if you got a bunch of life card. Should have paid attention to that. Yep, draw them 7 cards. Maybe I should have Thoughtseized or gone to my turn so I could like Thoughtseize and then go to Terminate and go from there, but here we are. All right. Let's see. Azilo? Give me a pronunciation here. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday so far. Xylo? I'm going to keep guessing until I get it right. Don't worry about the nickname, or don't worry about the pronunciation. It's a Spanish nickname. I still want to get people's names right. I feel bad if I don't. Alright. What are they discarding down to? Like, I'm probably just untapping Thoughtseize plus Hold Up Bolt. If you write it on Google Translate on the Spanish tab, Google translate. Go Spanish. Your text.
Azalo.
Azalo?
Azalo. Azalo.
Is that right?
Azalo.
It's like swapping up the timing. It's like going Azalo into Azalo.
Azalo. Azalo.
You hear it? So do I need to be like translating Spanish to Spanish?
Azaelo. Azaelo.
Is that it? Asaelo? Alright, what do we got? Pact, Springleaf Shoal, Heritage Druid, Fortifying Drought. Alright, so how do they get from here to killing me? Can they get from here to killing me? Like, what happens if I take a pact? What happens if I take a pact? They've got untap, land. They can pact for a an Allosaurus rider. Give up 2 green cards to play it. We'll see what happens. How many Allosaurus riders and such do we have going? Shoal. I should have counted up here before I made any play. Drum's fine. So there's one more shoal in their deck. They can pack for a Thrasta. If they have another Thrasta. That's 2 already. If they have a 3rd Thrasta, I guess I'm dead. Yep. So, that's the answer. Just couldn't beat another Thrasta. Alright, good to know. Good to know. Man. It's pretty rough that they ripped 2 lands in their first 3 draws, though. Like, all we needed them was from to whiff there. And we were fine. So you've been getting into Modern lately. Your videos appeared into my YouTube feed. Huge fan of Grixis. Yeah, Grixis is Sweet Shadow combination. So I'm always for it. Hate their deck, but love the Thrasta. I mean, I'm fine with their deck. Like, it's tough to make an argument that it, like, shouldn't exist or anything, because it does have a lot of inconsistencies for it. I just know, like, when I play Magic, the vast majority of my decisions on any turn or any match are based around statistics. Like, what's the statistical likelihood that my opponent is going to draw X or play Y or have access to Z or whatever. And when a play, like, defies statistics, that's when I start not really getting tilted. I don't really get tilted from the game, but it just becomes that, like, okay, where did I go wrong? What do I need to, like, adjust? And that was kind of like that game for me. Like, my opponent has to draw multiple running lands off the top in their deck that has, like, 11 lands or something to begin with. So I don't feel like my decision was wrong to take the mana and go that route instead of, like, taking the payoffs. Like, can we find a... There's Neobrand. So 11 lands plus 4 turn timber symbiosis, so 15 lands. So they had, after I took that, 14 left in the deck. So about a 20% chance, a little over 20, between 20 and 25% chance of drawing one. And they drew 2. So just assume my opponent always has everything. I never have anything so far. It's proven true. I mean, I feel that way against, like, Tron. I'm really good at assuming my Tron opponents have everything, and I don't. Maybe I'm supposed to fight over that Springleaf Drum. Missing Tron land and payoff are both on top of their library, right? And they always have, like, a star or sphere into both of them. Alright, so opponent's got lands. Go to my turn. I kind of want to play Darcy here, since I'm not, like, holding up not holding up too much here, and, like, a 1/1 shadow is not going a long distance. So maybe Darcy can buy me into, like, another fetch land or something relevant. Well, that's great for me. They just have, like, a plethora of lands. Alright. Hiya. And yeah, we'll play out the shadow. So I know one of their cards is that Chancellor of the Tangle. Alright, Mishra's Bobble's not bad. Sure. We'll take a Flusterstorm. Hiya. Alright. How do we piece together a win from here? Outside of just finding another fetch land. Nourishing Shoal for 7, sure. I'm not about to fight over a Nourishing Shoal. Like, eventually I will find a way to lower my life total and present a more intense clock. Well, we want to counter relevant stuff. Like, I don't want to just fire off counter spells at anything that they put on the stack. And we're probably just casting Ragavan. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think... Dashing Ragavan does a lot for me here when I can still just like hold up triple counter spell just casting him. Allosaurus Rider, you've got it. What's your follow-up? Looks like an Eldritch Evolution. So let's go with Spell Pierce. Pact Negation. So we'll let Pact Resolve. Channeler trigger. Is going to see Ragavan. We'll put that into the graveyard. And Flusterstorm. Yeah. Got there. So for the sake of the stack there, Flusterstorm was going to be like guarantee counter the thing I want. I could Mystical Dispute the Pact, see if he's got like another Pact, and then Flusterstorm. But I feel like I just lose my Mystical Dispute for no reason if I do that. Obviously, it's great if he doesn't have a Pact, but I feel like I just don't need to give him my other counter spell when next turn I have hit with Ragavan, hold up, drown, Mystical Dispute. Plus, if I let the Pact resolve, he has to pay for Pact. So he has to kill me that turn, or he dies. He begins with 7, and my hand's not great. Yeah, I think I'm shipping this. This is 3, 4, 5, 6 points of life gain. 7, 8. So Shadow on turn 3. With only a Spell Pierce's Disruption. Alright. So this is 4. So we go 1, 2... 3. Yep. Good job me putting back Thoughtseize. Now, can we find a way to get there from here? That is the question. We're just hoping that like they don't have combo backed up by Veil. Yep. Would like to land a little bit more there, but can't control everything. I would like to see Pact for Allosaurus Rider. Play Allosaurus Rider. Eldritch Evolution. Why are you still in my deck? You should not be in here. Maybe it gives me an extra storm count. I could point Drown at the Channeler, but I would have to keep whatever I surveil on top. Let's see, so this is kind of a random question, but like a year ago you were playing Tend the Pest in the sideboard. When did you bring that in and why? Asking for an Abzan deck and brewing for Pioneer. Brought it in against any deck that had 1-for-1 removal for like Shadow or Tarmogoyf for Scourge of the Skyclaves, especially Solitude decks. So if they targeted like your Shadow or something with Solitude, you could Tend the Pest and go wide and not worry about like losing multiple Shadows or something. Land. No. No. You land. Why keep push? Because I thought I had boarded it out. I forgot it was in the deck. Not by choice. Yeah, so Tend the Pest was absolutely the bench summer tech. Just need like one more land. We're not good if we've got another land, but we're closer. Like, we're just giving them so much time to find what they need. Alright, so going for the Neo form. So if I go for Drown here, and they have the 1 blue counter make 2 treasures, then I'm golden. Otherwise, Spell Pierce counters this, but I lose to like basically pay and a counter. We're just gonna go for it. OP's got nothing. Come on, one blue counter, make 2 treasures. Come on, one blue counter, make 2 treasures. Come on, one blue counter, make 2 treasures. They just have like... Oh my god. What's happening? They did not have a counter spell? Oh baby. Oh baby. You're saying there's a chance. Watergrave. Let's play. Nope, can't play Shadow. Go. Saying there's a chance. Second Allosaurus Rider. Sure. Second Eldritch Evolution. Meet second Drown in the Lock. Yes! The Multifor! Oh, man. Nice. Nice. This is some serious gaming. This is some serious gaming. Shadow winning on a Multifor. Name a less iconic duo. I was so lucky that they didn't find a Veil or a Pact or that blue counter or anything. I should have seen what they exiled to the Allosaurus Riders just to see if they had exiled like a Veil or something. Like, especially, not the first one. The first one you just Veil and win. But the second one, maybe they drew a Veil and just decided to go for it. But I can't imagine that deck plays like any less than 4 Veils, right? Let's go find out. Modern. View more, because of course Neobrand isn't going to be on the first page. Neobrand. 4 Boseiju who endures, 3 Pact Negation, 1 Springleaf Drum, 3 Veil of Summer. Only 3. A Lab Maniac, and 3 Leyline of Sanctity. Alright. Winning another die roll. Super nice. Pretty decent hand. Against Yorion. So we really want this to be like Yorion taxes, not 4-color Yorion. Not 4-color pile Yorion, I mean. That could be either one. Prismatic Ending. I think I'm just gonna get down Shredder. Whew. 2% chance this doesn't get countered. What? They got a counter spell for my expressive iteration. Good. Now it's time to win every mirror with Texas style. I mean, Texas style does have some good game in the mirrors. When you're just sitting there playing like, what's his name? Seasoned Pyromancers over and over again. So what is this? Ragavan. I don't know what they're up to, so I'm gonna push and play Ragavan. Four-color control deck. Is this four-color pile? It just like didn't get triomes at any point. I guess that probably makes sense. Pyromancer's a star. Pyromancer is a house in that deck. Ice Fang Coatl. A little bit rude. Hiya. Hiya. Exile. Stomping Ground. Play Bird Lawyer. So if we find a land, we can go Croxa into Shadow. Trigger the Lawyer. It's a Fury. Solitude. Okay. Solitude, exile bird, Jesus. Hiya. Here's a shadow. So any land will allow us to cast Croxa. Hopefully Mike plays around Solitude now. Here. I wish. Wish I could. Oh, come on. Land for Croxa. Land for Croxa. We believe. We believe. No. No. Kami, it says you're a first-time chatter. What's going on? Kami doesn't want to be a part of this channel, apparently. Ah, I would have loved you last turn. So, red, red, black, black. 1, 2, 3. Instant, instant. Opponent is down to 4. Down to 4, casting Yorion. Alright, so let's start by swinging with Croxa. Make him discard. So for some reason his last 2 cards are like Solitude plus white card, and he lets me go to combat. We get that out of the way before Croxa attacks. Lucky little win there. But we take it. Dress Downs, Mystical Dispute to counter Yorion or Expressive Iteration or Omnath, something like that. Spell Pierce isn't the worst. It's not great, but it's not like you can't run that. Fatal Push is bad. Bolt is bad. Probably don't want Spell Pierce. Upon further investigation, go like this. Little Trimmerino. Reveal Giganta. Reveal mulling to 6. Alright. Big on the draw. Actually, I'm going to ditch the Shadow. Find me second land. Thought behind ditching the Shadow is like, I need to find more lands anyway. So if I ditch the Shadow and I find more lands, then I'm just like escaping Kroxa. And that's better for me than playing out a Naked Shadow. Yes, is in fact better now. Good job. Am I fighting over an Ice Fang Coatl? Probably not, right? Save like Mystical Dispute for Teferi or something. Do I want to drown this? Get out of here with your perfect mana. See if you want to fight over this. Yeah, you do. You dirty, dirty 4-color pile player. Another Kroxa on top. Probably don't need another Kroxa. Probably just like more interested in finding another land to be able to get back this Kroxa. Ditching an Omnath. So that would lead me to believe second Omnath in hand. Alright, that escapes a Kroxa. Come on, cast that Omnath, you degenerate. It's not an Omnath. It's not an Omnath at all. That's a really good draw. So we can go Bird Jesus, Thoughtseize, ditch, Unholy Heat. Just take Yorion. Are we taking Fury because we can interact with either of these coming down? Yeah, we'll take Fury. can get Watery Grave off this polluted delta to be able to Mystical Dispute. What on that? That's crazy. Go away. What chow? So.
I guess we all have future pants. They're pants we're going to wear tomorrow. And the
Let's
next
go red, red, black, black. Land, instant, sorcery, because I got a sorcery in hand. Counter spells, they're unknown. Alright, no land. No land, no land, no land. No land. Sweet. Should be saying like no land, no solitude either. So they've got Ephemerate, Yorion, Unknown. Unknown is an Omnath. It's not Cyclotron. Okay. So let's start. Am I playing or am I ditching the Channeler? Like, I really want to find Drown in the Lock. So I think if that's the case, I'd rather get the Scry. The Scry to me is more important than the Shredder trigger. And if I see something I don't want on top, I can just freely like draw and discard it with Channeler. Holy Heat Channeler, sure. So put that on top. So I draw and discard it to Shredder. There's a Drown in the Lock, whatever on the bottom, whatever to exile. Swing in. Pitch Ephemerate. Take 9. Pass the turn. Drown and Lock the Yorion with all of the gusto that a Drown and Lock can be cast with. Double check a number of cards in opponent's graveyard is greater than or equal to 5. Double check CMC of Yorion is 5. Chow. I appreciate opponent making me play it out. Prime time 3454321. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday so far. Les, thank you for making me say out that entire name. Prime time 3454321. But I appreciate it. So 2-0. See what we find for match number 3. Hopefully something cool. I don't know why I just thought about it, but I realized that the first league today, when it goes up on YouTube, is going to have like an awkward pause where we're cutting off cameras and like figuring out how to plug them back in and whatnot. That's going to be really funny to explain to people on YouTube. Let's see. I'm enjoying the stream. I'm playing this list tonight at my LGS. I don't have the 4th Shredder. What would you play over it? Well, if you're currently in the possession of 4 Death Shadows, then you don't even have to play 4 Shredder. That was like one of the first updates I made to this list, was I didn't like 4 Shredder. So I just swapped out the 4th for a 4th Shadow. Dark one. Oh, you're good. I know, like, Kanister's original list was playing 4 Shadow, or 4 Shredder. So when you see, like, Kanister on the name, it's immediately, oh, yeah, 4 Shredder. And not 4 Shadow. But we ain't about that life. Ragioli. Alright, so I'm going to start with Bobble myself, because if I see a removal spell for Ragavan on top, I'm going to try to kill that. Alas, we do not, so we'll just play out our own Ragavan. Could be a mirror. But a Tainted Indulgence. But Tainted Indulgence. Four Shredder is good versus specifically 4-color in my opinion, which are very popular. I haven't seen a lot of 4-color. Like, we saw it once just now, but other than that, I haven't seen it very much recently. Alright, so what am I doing? What's this? Thoughtseize Shadow? Or is this Shredder? Let's go Shredder. We mostly face weird shit in blue-red. I mean, yeah. Like, I see so much blue-red in leagues. It's insane. Like, I think that is, by a mile, the deck that I've seen the most. Played it in the last league. We played it, like, 3 times yesterday in 2 leagues. No, opposing litter, Shredder. Ah. We'll take our free Croxa discard. What are you ditching to your lawyer bird? Been over a shadow. They have an Unholy Heat. So I can sack Bobble, blow up my bird. Get in for 3. Looks like an Unholy Heat to me. I, for one, am shocked. Drown in the lock. Alright. What is my play? Probably just have to go like Shock to 6, Shredder plus Shadow. This looks bad. It's not great. Like, it's completely up to their draws here. If they're drawing live, we're pretty dead. If they're drawing dead, we're pretty live. So, we can't do too much about that. But it was more the situation of just they were on the play with the Ragavan and we didn't have an answer to it. So, they had 2 mana into turn and didn't cast anything. So there's like reasonable chance they don't have anything. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility. Alright. Got a bolt. Add Gigantha to hand. Okay. Alright, what's my plan here? They've got a Polluted Delta in hand and a Gigantha that we know about. I can go Shadow Pass. I really don't want to give them a Ledger Shredder trigger. So I think it's probably like attack with Shadow, play Shadow, pass. I like that. So if they double spell on their turn, they give me a Shredder trigger. GDS mirrors are so interesting. They're pretty fun. I think shadow mirrors typically fall into like one of 2 situations. Option number 1 is one player just sees the nuts and tempos out and there's nothing your opponent can do about it, which is usually like the turn 1 Ragavan, I don't have an answer. Turn 2 hit me, play something substantial. I don't have an answer to that. They kill my threat that I play on turn 2 and swing again. Stuff like that, where your opponent just out-tempos, no answer you can have matters. The other option is the games that just go to like turn 20, because you're just trading out 1 for 1 over and over and over and over again, hoping someone will get a little bit of an advantage. And then you have the decisions of like, okay, in the shadow mirrors, typically the first person that attacks with a shadow dies. Or like first person that connects with a shadow dies. Because a lot of times you hit with a shadow, your opponent plays a bigger shadow than you do. And now their shadow's presenting lethal, so you have to chump block theirs. But they don't have to chump block yours and stuff like that. And then are you taking the draw? Or games like this where my opponent's just like flooding out a bit and we don't know if that's going to matter yet. It's like this could very well be they attack with Channeler, I block with Shredder. They play Gigantha. I bolt Ragavan, untap, like swing with my 2 shadows. They have to chump with Shredder and Gigantha. But I have just like bolt or Ragavan plus Bobble in the back. So Or maybe they go to kill my Shredder. And I still kill their Ragavan. Gigantha the Wellspring. You got it. They're going to give me Shredder trigger. That's a pretty good Shredder trigger. So I'll ditch Bobble. Yeah. They've already played land for turn. So their Shredder gets to... do I want to just drown this Gigantha before I do anything? Or... can they win if I go to my turn? I have Bolt, Drown. I guess I could have, like, Fatal Push. And... yeah, so they can resolve this. Give them the chance to mess up, and if they find a Fatal Push, like, cast it right now. So if they find Fatal Push, go to Fatal Push a Shadow. I can counter it, untap, Bolt here, swing. They're on double chump block duty. Ragavan is fine. And let's Drown in the Lock a... am I drowning the locking here? Yeah. Just keep thinking about, like, Ledger Shredder. I'm like, alright, no, they've already cast double spells, so I don't have to worry about me casting double spell. Let's Bolt you. We could get a basic... yeah. Get basic Mountain, play Ragavan, because that plays around removal spell. It's like now, even if they have a removal spell for something, I still get to get through with 5 points of damage. So this is fine. They could have removal spell for a shadow, block a shadow. I still got 6 points coming through. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe kill the Shredder, set up for Shredder, hit Bolt Face. Yeah, like, they all lead to the same result, right? But I like the idea of getting the Gigantha off the board. So, like, if something does go wrong, like, let's say some card I don't know about exists, and they don't die. I would rather have Gigantha off the board, a small power Shredder, plus my Shredder to block their Dragon's Rage Channeler and, like, 2 shadows and stuff on board, than kill their Shredder and leave them with Gigantha on board, and then more stuff. Alright, so Hearse is good here. K-Command's good. Turok's in the category. Sometimes it'll be good, sometimes it'll be terrible. Pierce is a possibility. Ease a possibility. What do I know I don't want? Trim some Ragavans. Cut Thought Seizes. Just do like that. Yeah, it seems fine. Hate the TBR has left all shadow decks. Has it? Has it left all shadow decks? Do not have... Where's the other one? Oh, there's some TBRs in here. It's not a big sample size, but we're still playing TBR in some lists. Really rough into turn 1 Ragavan. But opponent's mulligan, so we'll run with it. The fact that you can pull up a shadow deck without it makes me sad. Shouldn't make you sad. Like, mill over Thoughtseize. To me, that kind of makes me think one land keep. Because, like, Thoughtseize is pretty decent regardless here. So if I spend my first turn killing this, then you just get Thoughtseize. If I don't kill this, then... I don't know. I wouldn't mind keeping a Thoughtseize there. Unless I needed the second land. Surprised you don't run surgical extractions. 4 copies main deck because opponents cast spells in multiples. Lawyer Bird. Lawyer Bird plus Lawyer Bird trigger. Am I just drowning this? I guess I could play my own Lawyer Bird. I want to kill this or play a Lawyer Bird. Killer Bird, Killer Bird, kill or bird. I'm gonna bird. If he wants to like trade 1-for-1 removal with my bird, I think I'm okay with that. Well, if he plays 2 spells, like, it lets me get something for one of these lands. So I'm not, like, upset if he does that. Drown. Don't want to drown. Or would I rather drown like a an expressive iteration? Probably rather drown expressive iteration if he finds one. I think I'm trying to like set up the Turok kick next turn, exile the rest of his hand, or ditch the rest of his hand. So maybe he goes like pass through his turn. I go to kill Ledger Shredder. He drowns it. I untap, kick Turok, get last card out of hand or something. Or he just like adds Giganta to his hand. We take those. Fetch and shock. Don't cast anything. Add Giganta. Alright, so let's go terminate the lawyer bird. Hiya. Bait for that spell pierce. Got it. Fetch up a tap something. Makes black mana. Then we will kick a Turok. Ciao. What do we get? Mystical Dispute, Death Shadow. So their last card in hand is Giganta. We take it. If they do nothing here, we probably just kick another Turok. Do that, sure. All right. I could kick this other Turok and get the Giganta out of hand. Do I care about that? Other option would be Channeler. Channeler, drown this, get a Shredder trigger. I think I'm going to play Channeler, attack with Turok. I'm okay if they trade. If they fire up Hearse, I can drown the Hearse and I'm still getting 4 damage through, and I'm getting my Channeler trigger and my Ledger Shredder trigger. Can I have Turok away? Maybe. Like, it depends on what our opponent's doing here. Like, here, I just get to drown and lock this Hearse. I feel really great about that. Surveil first, so I get, like, a free look at the top before I decide anything. I'll bend that. I was thinking I might want like the free draw discard off Shredder, but I think I just want to get to better cards. And here we can ditch the Turok, kill the Hearse, 4 damage gets through. And now I get to play my Bloodstained Mire, go and get basic Swamp. Pass, hold up, drown in the lock. I know their last card is Giganta. So if they play anything that's not Giganta, I can counter. Darcy has to attack. See if they flip over anything. Flip over Ledger Shredder. Alright. Since they have to attack, I think I'm just countering the Bauble. Because I got counter the Bauble, Shredder blocks Channeler. I untap, and I've got plenty of damage back. So yeah. Just don't give them the draw off a Bauble. Bin you. Channeler has to attack. No shenanigans in the graveyard. Again, we know their last card's Gigantha, so yeah. Woo, 3-0. See, so missed a couple questions. Is Hearse good in this matchup? So kind of like Mirabito said, Hearse keeps Unholy Heat, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Croxa, Drown in the Lock in check. So it's got a lot of utility there. And it is kind of another threat. Kind of. Yeah, you can Hearse yourself. No, you can Hearse yourself to stop their drowns. It's way less relevant, but it is something you can do. So, it's at least important enough to point out that it's a possibility, even if it's not ideal. But more importantly, it's cutting off, like, their Unholy Heats and Dragon's Rage Channelers and stuff like that. Croxa. Then the other comment was, DRC is insane. I don't know how people decide to cut it at times. Mainly, my biggest reason for cutting it occasionally is it's not a real clock. Like, the Surveil is nice. They're pretty good if you find them in multiples. But a lot of the time, it's like a 1-mana 1/1 that stays a 1/1 for a few turns. And then when it does get online, it's like attacking for 3 every turn, which is okay. But it's not like get your opponent dead speed. And you're often playing it in a deck that's like trying to play get your opponent dead speed. So Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Oh, am I taking Relic as the redraw and risking the Ugin, or am I just taking the Ugin? I really want to take the Relic as the redraw. Plus it shuts off Unholy Heat. What did I side out in the mirror? I missed the side portion. Yeah, so I sided out... Let's see. I sided out a couple copies of Ragavan on the draw, and then the Thought Seizes, and boarded in Turox, K-Command, Hearses, and the EE. Alright. Gonna go get a Blast Zone. Kind of assume every E-Tron player just runs like 17 Blast Zones. Can we hear a microphone? Cavern of Souls. Not sure that's quite the one I would go for, but okay. Reality Smasher. Smash Mine Realities. No Smasher. Smasher, no smashing. That puts him even farther off Ugin, which is nice. What do I want to put where? Kroxa to hand. Shredder to the bottom. Islet to exile. Crack in with Shadow. Still got to kill him before this Ugin comes down. Which, at the rate we're going, should be plausible. Especially if they're just drawing all the Eldrazi temples. Alright, so let's go Kroxa first. Kroxa before we reveal land, so maybe they discard a land and we get to like put a 2-turn clock on them. Like that. So that's 6. Put them down to 7. We've got Drown in the Lock and Heat. No! No! Alright. I guess it's not the end of the world. So we are going to shock in first. So that they have to fire off this blast zone. Drown the blast zone activation. Got him. Checkmate, atheist. Yeah. Just post-combat dash our Ragavan. Red, red. Not blue. Black, black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go ahead and put Ragavan out there as well. Say hiya. Survey says. Don't cast spells. Thought not seer. Walking Ballista. Yep. How do I want to do this? There is not a way that I can present lethal, right? If I play Channeler, heat the Walking Ballista, I can hold up Drown in the Lock. That's probably fine. And I don't want to play the Swamp. Important here, pay attention at home. I don't want to play the Swamp. Well, I'm going to attack before I Unholy Heat. But I'm trying to make a point here. I don't want to play the Swamp in case their last card off the top is a Reality Smasher. I want to be able to pitch the Swamp to the Drown in the Lock since I can't counter it. So, remember. So now we attack. We see what they discard. They do not discard a land, so I'm just going to do Unholy Heat. Get my trigger here. Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't play the Swamp and leave yourself dead to a Reality Smasher. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Alright, so 1 Alpine Moon. I want K Command. Probably want EE as an additional way to get out from a ensnaring bridge. If it happens to come down to that. I don't want Mystical Dispute. Saw 2 Ugin the Ineffable, so like maybe Spell Pierce is something I'm interested in. Turok's also on the possibility list. Lightning Bolt and Unholy Heat are both really bad. Fatal Push is pretty bad. I've just got like Terminates and stuff, so I'm not so reliant on it. Drowning Locks are pretty bad. So I think I can just go like this. What are the odds? Whenever I play against something, like, odds are pretty high my opponent's going to have the thing that messes me up. So, if I can afford to play around it, I try to. This is okay. I've got interaction for like a turn 2 Chalice. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Don't think I want a second one. So let's get a Steam Vents. So go. Spell Pierce that. So many channelers. Could dash Ragavan. But is it like dash Ragavan, just sit on Spell Pierce? We have Dismember. Sure. Oh, couldn't have done much about that. Chalice. Yep. Alright. Land is pretty good. Alright. Can we find answer? Or I guess we don't really need answer. Can we find 4th land and get back this Croxa? I want to get a red source. If I get Steam Vents, every non-mountain lets me get back Croxa. If I get Blood Crypt, then Watery Grave doesn't. So I think we go with the non-mountain plan. Could have thought about Turok. This is going to be rough if they have like a Scavenger Grounds or something. The temples. okay, I guess. Reality Smasher. Ah. All right, well, we've got the Reality Smasher covered. We're playing 1 K Command and 1 Engineered Explosives. Let's see, Sindo007, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday so far. Second Reality Smasher. Ah! Terminate. Chow. Discard. Channeler. Come on, land for Kroxa. Come on, land for Kroxa. What is this? It's a dismember? I feel like you just wait until after I Kroxa. I guess I can't wait. Another Chalice. Walking Ballista. No. Don't think there's anything I can find about this. Yeah. Alright. On the play, what lets us be more proactive? Don't really have much. I guess we're just keeping the same configuration on the play. All came down to that turn. They had Dismember into Chalice. Yeah, it did. Alright. This is pretty good. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Shredder or Kroxa. We get like turn 2 Shredder, turn 3 Iteration, find something else to play, ditch Kroxa to Shredder, turn 4 get back Kroxa. That's probably not bad. We'll see what they've got going on. Tower, power plant, herboard. So Warping Whale can get rid of Ledger Shredder. So I guess we're taking that. It's not a great hand out of them, but we are giving them a lot of time to find something. Alright, so let's get Lawyer Bird down. Next turn we can like Iteration plus Ragavan and get the free Kroxa discard. Or dash Ragavan second main Iteration. Or that. Dash Rag into Shadow. Ditch Kroxa. Another tower. Yeah, guess I do just want to play the Shadow. Opponent has got the Trons. Ditch one of those. So what am I doing here? Thought Knot comes down. And I'm Unholy Heating Thought Knot? No, I don't have Delirium. I guess I have to Unholy Heat Matter Reshaper. Get another power plant. Alright. Take Iteration. Give me a land. Won't give me another Iteration. Okay. Blue. Red. Terminate to hand. Bobble to the bottom. Channeler to exile. Trigger. Shredder. Get your Ragavan. Oh boy. Alright, OP. I need you to play one of your fattest matter or Reality Smashers and nothing else. Reality Smasher, nothing else. Reality Smasher, nothing else. Stop tapping mana. Stop tapping that much mana. God! Ah, worst case scenario. Ah, had to be that one, didn't it? Why are all these Ragavans coming around? So many Ragavans. So I think they have to draw dead, and I have to find an Unholy Heat here. But I think I boarded out 3 of them. Yeah. So I'm not really sure what I find. Not that. Man. Tron's really good when your opponent rips straight Tron lands. Like, we exiled some number of, or like a power plant. Excuse me? Hold on there. E-Tron's literally unplayable when it doesn't do exactly this, right? Yeah, they don't always do that in a big tournament setting. But my god, do they seem to always do that against me in leagues. So I've got an answer if they play something that needs to block the Ragavan. I've got a redraw. So I think this is a fine keep. What you got? Main deck Auriok Champion. What does that mean for me? Means at least I know I've got a second land. So let's swing in. Hallowed Fountain with main deck Auriok Champion. Oh, so this is... What is this? What is this? I can get Watery Grave and Thoughtseize. So I've got Auriok Champion answered. I don't have second Auriok Champion answered, unfortunately. So we're just taking Heliod. Heliod, just best card available. Or do I need to get rid of the second Auriok Champion? Probably get rid of the second champion. Like, maybe I can win if I'm able to play through the first. Like, find a shadow or something and I can swing in. But I don't think I can play through the second. Collected company. Okay. All right. Come on, Lawyer Bird. They don't have a third land currently, so that's something. And if I can find, like, land shadow, something to kind of be a little more proactive, that would be a good start. Maybe they're on Shredder too. I would think it's a splash blue for, like, prismatic ending or maybe some counter spells or something. Oh, Tainted Indulgence, you're right. They can make black mana off their birds and then Tainted Indulgence me. That's way hotter. Alright, what do we got? Terminate. Let's start with iteration. See if we can find some lands. Nice. So Drown to hand, Ragavan to the bottom, Scalding Tarn to exile. Can't attack into anything. Come on, swing. You know you want to. Okay. Okay. This is progress. So let's go Watery Grave. Cast second iteration. Need land. Channeler to hand. Drown to the bottom. Ragavan to exile. And I think we just have to let them, or just pass this turn. Because I can't have them, like, resolve a Heliod or something. I need to hold up Drown. Splashing Murktide. Splash that double blue 7-drop that you need instants and sorceries to make bigger. Alright. Go get another Oriok champion. You know you want to. You've been conditioned. Solitude. Who's out here getting solitudes? Card's not even good. Man. Imagine you could have solituded before that drown. Could make mana off birds. SMH my whole head. Oh baby. So let's start. There's no way to do this because of the basic mountain. Or no, I can Channeler off the mountain, Thoughtseize off the bird, get my Channeler trigger, and be able to hold up Drown regardless of what happens. So let's Thoughtseize. Don't think I need a Fatal Push. And we are taking the Solitude, correct? Yeah. Basic Mountain being the worst land in any non-mono red deck since day 0. You're right. Unfortunately, Basic Island in the Kroxa deck is worse. Otherwise, I'd be all for it. They don't have double green for Spike Feeder, which is pretty funny. Am I countering a Spike Feeder if they put one on the stack? Probably not. Alright. Bobble's good. We'll take that. Guess Shadow wants Basic Island less. Right. Exactly my point. Alright, so let's go swing in with Channeler. Play Shadow. You gain your life. They draw into 4th land for company. So we gotta deal with that. Alright. Land is a good draw. So let's go blue-red cast iteration. They're going to respond with a company of the collected variety, to which we say 9. I will bin a Croxa. Yes, please. Bin that as well. So let's go Bolt to hand, Shredder to the bottom, Channeler to exile, and attack with everything. Opponent greedily snap blocks on the Ragavan. And I think we're just going to pass turn. And if they put a Spike Feeder on the stack, we just kill them. Like if they tap this Horizon Canopy for mana, we just get to go like, bolt you. Or that. No, I need to wait for him to put something on the stack. Because if I go bolt and they respond company, they might have a way to kill me. But if I wait for them to put company on the stack, they die because I know their last 2 cards are Spike Feeder. But if I like bolt them and they go company, hit second Auriok champion, something else, then yeah. I like throw away my chance of winning there. Like, what if they hit Spike Feeder or Heliod? Ugh. That'd have been rough. Alright, so we're up against Heliod. He is great. Dress Down is great. Turok is great. K-Command. They also drew land into Coco. Yeah, but it had to be it had to be non-fetchable. Or non-fetch land. It had to be a basic that they drew into. Anything else would have cost them life to cast company. So. Okay, so hear me out while I'm sideboarding. What about unlicensed hearse? More for the fact that I can just start like exiling some stuff from a graveyard and swing through Auriok champions or Sanctifier on Vex. I think it's worth considering. Our drowns are probably stronger than Hearse on average. Possibly. I don't want to say like for sure, but like we don't have to continually activate Hearse. We can just like get it up to a 4/4 or something, like exile some stuff out of our yard. But the important thing is just being able to keep attacking. Because, like, what you don't want to do against this deck is get into a stalemate where you're just, like, staring at each other going, oh, my God, I really hope you don't have something off the top for, like, 12 turns in a row. Ah, yes, the good old this hand is unknown cards due to bobble, right? I think I value Drown too much when the card is not that great. Drown's phenomenal. You just have to accept that, like, as phenomenal as it is, there are gonna be times that the card isn't live. Like, if my opponent plays a Scavenging Ooze, Drown looks horrendous. If they play an Endurance, Drown looks horrendous. So, like, as long as you're okay accepting those times, Drown's fine. I think I want to kill the bird. I'm going to, like, play a couple baubles to give myself the most chances of drawing a second land. Oh, we got that answer. Now we're definitely killing the bird. I can't DRC first and kill the bird. I want to kill the bird. How awful would DRC look if our opponent just, I don't know, untapped and played a Teferi on turn 2? Land. No. Oh. Now I have to, and I don't want to, because Teferi. I guess if we find a land, and they play Teferi bounce DRC, then I can still heat the Teferi plus Thoughtseize. Or they're just going to give us a land deal. Take that all day. I want Drown, but I want Thoughtseize, or I want land more.
But it's not a thing about making it accurate.
That was a really weird...
It's a thing about making it feel right.
I don't think they needed to path Dragon's Rage Channeler there. I don't think that really accomplishes anything for them. Like, Channeler's not presenting a clock. Heliod, Suncrowned. So I think I know 3 of their 4 cards with Teferi, Birds, and Heliod. You got it. Land. Yes. Okay. So we can go Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize take Teferi. How bad a shape am I in if I... Maybe it's better to Thoughtseize, Fetch Shock, Unholy Heat the Ranger, play the Shadow. No, because they got Teferi then. I don't want them to have Teferi. That's the whole purpose of everything here. So we are going to Thoughtseize. And Company's their last card. Alright. I think I can beat everything but Company. And I'm making this decision based off of the assumption that they're going to sack Ranger Captain on their upkeep to make sure whatever their next thing is resolves. I think if it's Company, I can't win. I think if it's anything else, I can still win. So that's what I'm gonna base this off of. Which means I should just go ahead and sack this and say go. They resolve company, we're out 100%. Yeah, I agree. And they can't have drawn another land and a company. Sack Ranger. Why are you not sacking Ranger, Captain? Counter you. I feel like they should have sacked Ranger Captain there. But what do I know? I'm just a lowly small brain shadow player. Maybe they want to sack Ranger Captain to guarantee the Heliod comes down. But that seems less than ideal. You got it. We out here taking 3 like it's going out of style. Gonna give me another opportunity to counter something. Maybe this turn killing Ranger Captain, last turn holding Drown might have been good. I wanted to get the Shadow on board. Like, we need pressure. If we just sit under Counterspell, then, like, there's no guarantee that they're going to cast anything. And I want them casting things. Because I think I can beat what's in their hand if they cast it. No, I don't want to play Turok here. It's like a small part of me that does, but they just get like free Ballista, untap, kill it. Yep. Then if they put Ballista on the stack, I respond with killing the Ranger Captain. Or sure, we'll respond and kill it anyway. Got a Noble Hierarch. So fetch land and they're dead. Hiya. Hiya again. Hiya once more for a second time. And then if there were going to be another turn, I would just play out the Turok there. Okay, so our one loss was to Eldrazi Tron. Is that right? Yeah, because they just saw a bunch of Tron lands game 3. Not a whole lot we could do about that one. Turbotron, indeed. What did I think about this one? Like, when you give up your clock by going like this Dragon's Rage Chandler Ragavan route, you're gonna lose to the unfair stuff more often than not. Which is why this deck has historically had a rough time against like Living In, Tron, things like that. Just because you're giving them an extra 2, 3, 4 turns before you actually end the game. Did we face blue-red or 4-color, though? I entered late. We did beat 4-color, like, round 1 or 2 or something. I don't think we played Murktide this league. We beat Murktide with 4 color in the last league. But, yeah, like, slowing down your clock so much means that you're going to have a rougher time against decks like Tron, Burn, the unfair combo decks, just because you get more, give them more turns to get back out of it. But Ledger Shredder was definitely a lot better as a 3 of than a 4 of. I didn't feel like I was seeing it as many times when I didn't want it. The Expressive Iteration Drown in the Lock core is still great. It's almost funny. Like, I think Ragavan was close to the worst card that league, if not the worst. Ragavan and Kroxa to an extent. In the sideboard, Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce were great against Neobrand, but I think Flusterstorm's been on the lower end of my preferred counters recently. Turok was fine. Great in the Grixis mirror. Everywhere else, we didn't see the 4th land, so he was just like a 2-mana 2/1 if we played him. Hearse and Soul Guide were pretty unnecessary that league, but you still need some sort of Grave Hate. Analyzing those matchups probably matter more than the rare Heliod and Tron matchups. For the purpose of Magic Online leagues, I would agree. So you're way more likely to run into like Blue-Red Murktide than you are to run into Heliod. But in like an open meta, I like having a reasonable idea of how I interact against those decks and like what my percentages are. Just because like if you go to a big tournament and say Texas or Florida or wherever, there's a lot more likely to be players that are just playing like whatever they own or their favorite deck, and a lot less people that are showing up with like tuned Blue-Red Murktide because they just picked it up for the weekend. Say, it's correct to bring in Turok in the mirror. Genuine question. I like it. It's not like you're, oh my god, this is going to win the game card. But when you're interacting pretty early and often, then Turok can often be just like 4 mana, come down, get the last 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, and now you're on ahead. Or if they tap down to 1 mana for a Heat or a Bolt, and you kick a Turok, and now it becomes like they have to Bolt or Heat it, plus they lose their other 2 cards. So it's like a 3-for-1 in a matchup where 2-for-1s are king.